Today I'm going to be giving you guys my Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet Mage build. This is a PvE build that I use primarily for invasions. We're going to be talking about equipment, weapons, skill trees, and attribute settings. That's right, guys. It is Lilith's most beloved invasioneer and most reviled influencer, Ave Mortem, known on server as Ad Victorium. Let's talk weapons. So for this build, I'm running a Fire Staff with Keen, Vicious, and Shirking Arcana. Now, Keen and Vicious, definitely the perks you want. The third perk, honestly, I would prefer Keenly Empowered or even Enchanted. This is something that, yeah, I'll have to re-roll this, but this was a chromatic seal, so it was only a 2 perk roll. It's good enough for the purposes that I'm going to be using it for. And I have slotted just a regular diamond into it. For the Ice Gauntlet, I have Keen Speed, Unending Thor, and Enchanted. So the 2 that I had actually picked up with the chromatic roll was Unending Thor and Enchanted. The Keen Speed was the 3rd perk. Again, not ideal. I would prefer Keenly Empowered, something along those lines. But it is what it is. This Ice Gauntlet is still gonna get the job done. Unending Thor is the weapon perk that you definitely want on your Ice Gauntlet for any build. Alright, so let's just go over the build tree as far as the Fire Staff goes. So the 3 abilities I'm taking are Flamethrower, Fireball, and Meteor Shower. Now, a lot of people are going to be critical of my choice of both Fireball and Flamethrower, but because of my playstyle, which is Mad Aggro Mage, okay, these 2 are really the best choices. Meteor Shower is the AoE, which is getting buffed by the Empowering Meteor Shower that I have on my armor. And so these are the skills that I'm picking. As you can see, I'm doing Runes of Helios, even though I often find myself standing outside the rune when I do drop it. But again, I think that is probably the best choice. I also have Singe on here, and I also have the Prophet of a Fire God while holding a Fire Staff. Your critical strike damage is increased by 15%. Okay, so that definitely helps boost those numbers, those damage numbers. Moving over to the Ice Gauntlet, I have Ice Pylon, which again is super underrated, especially in invasions. Ice Pylon literally should probably get the MVP award for invasions. It's passive damage, and because I have Pylon Burst, and it attracts and draws aggro off the mobs, it's just damage upon damage upon damage. I have Ice Shower, which is pretty much the invasion requirement. That's to stop bombers and stop the mobs from charging your position. If you're especially stationed in back, you are expected to be running Ice Shower. And finally, Ice Storm, and Ice Storm is the AoE that you're going to be using to rack up that damage. Again, Unending Thor must be on your Ice Gauntlet for this to really be effective. This is pretty much the Ice Gauntlet tree that I run. Sometimes I do switch off, and I do add in Critical Frost. Heavy Freeze, I really like because it will root a target for 1 second. if they're in the ice storm. So you drop in the AoE, you drop a heavy attack, you're rooting the target. They're staying in the ice storm. It's just damage upon damage again. Okay, Defiant Freeze, 20% fortify. This is for survivability, really. And I mean, really, everything else is pretty much the trees of the abilities. Empowered Frost, gaining mana back, especially recently. It seems like the mana burn is big. So not only am I mana potting, but I am trying to recover a little mana from my attacks in the frosted air. Alright, so let's talk about the armor. Once again, these are chromatic seal builds. For the helmet, I was able to get fire harnessing and empowering meteor shower. Physical aversion came on. That to me is as this is gonna get. Okay. When we come on to my chest piece, you're gonna see that I actually have ice harnessing instead of fire harnessing. This is because ice harnessing was about 4 times cheaper on my server. So I went with ice harnessing, and for this one I put refreshing and ice harnessing. I got strike conditioning as the 3rd perk. For the gloves, empowering fireball, ice harnessing. Okay. For the pants, deadly frost, ice harnessing. And again, I got ice harnessing and pylon burst, and I was able to roll refreshing. These boots to me are best for invasion. Okay, pylon burst being extremely important. Pylon is much maligned and much underrated. That is my take on it. It's controversial, I know, I get it, but yeah. And so any piece of armor that I have ice harnessing on, I slotted ignited gems. This one is an ignited thrust ward. I do wear thrust ward because those sniper COD rejects that AGS spawns in invasions are pretty hard to handle a lot of time for us mages, especially when 20 of them spawn and they all aim for your head. So I have that thrust ward on there, and it's ignited because I have ice harnessing. Whereas in the helmet I have frozen, okay, to add ice damage because this has fire harnessing. And so that's basically what you're looking to do, right? You're looking to, if you have fire harnessing, you're looking to have frozen. Okay, if you have ice harnessing, you're looking to have ignited gems in your armor. You know, prior to season 3, prior to the harnessings, I would split up the ignited and I would split up the frozen across the armor. Usually 2 frozens, 3 ignited. Sometimes maybe I would go full ignited, but now it's just even keel, which gives viability to both your fire staff as well as your ice gauntlet. Now let's talk about jewelry. For jewelry, I rolled this amulet with health and refreshing. I got thrust protection. This, again, snipers. And you know what? I threw in a little more thrust ward onto it. For the ring, I have both fire damage and burning. And when I rolled it, I got refreshing. Okay, I have 4 out of 4 stacks of refreshing on this set. That's what you want. And I'm going to explain to you why in a little bit. And finally, on the earring, you know what? I took regenerating and healthy toast. I got healing heart. It's, you know, this is just about health. And once we get to the attributes, you'll understand why that becomes important. Okay, so now we're going to talk about attributes, and so it's important to remember that all of your gear, all of your weapons, you want intelligence on. All of your jewelry, everything is a scholar prefix. Okay, so your intelligence, I boost my intelligence to 452. Okay, my equipment gives me 332 points of it. I assign 120 points of it. Why 452? Well, I'm gonna tell you, because fruit salad which is the food now for intelligence of choice. Okay. Fruit salad increases your intelligence by 48 for 50 minutes. This will cover your invasion and then some, and it will put you exactly at 500 intelligence. Both Fire Staff and Ice Gauntlet scales only with intelligence, so there's no reason to split off to a secondary stat. I put the rest of my points, I pick Strength 50 because I want the plus 5% light attack damage and I want the 10% heavy attack damage. Okay, Invasion is a team-based activity, and heavy attacks are extremely important in invasions, and we'll explain why later. For Dexterity, I want the plus 5% critical hit chance, and I want the plus 5% damage while at full health. If I have a good healer, I'm going to be at full health for most of the time, which is why I also run a diamond inside of my Fire Staff, okay? And I run the, what is that, the Opal? The Gambit, okay, because of the stamina in the Ice Gauntlet, because a lot of times when I'm using the Ice Gauntlet, I am on the move and on the dodge. The rest of the points I put into Constitution just for survivability, okay? And so when you actually turn around and you take the fruit salad, okay, see, 500 intelligence. There's your stats, okay? Some people are gonna say, hey, put 20 points into focus, and I have 4 stacks of refreshing already, and that is perfectly good for my abilities. My abilities will repop from one spawn to the next, as long as I'm fast enough in using them. And so yeah, I don't need that 5% ability cooldown reduction that other people claim to need. Alright, so let's summarize really quickly what this build comprises of. As far as the weapons go, everything is intelligence attribute. You want your Fire Staff to have vicious, keen, and keenly empowered, keenly jagged, something that complements vicious and keen. Your Ice Gauntlet, you want to have unending thought on the actual Ice Gauntlet. That is really vital. And then either vicious, keen, keenly empowered, enchanted. I chose enchanted because I just wanted to give Pylon a little bit of extra juice there. As far as your armor goes, again, we're doing intelligence attribute, straight up intelligence attribute. Your armor is going to have either fire harnessing or ice harnessing on it, okay? Whatever you have on your armor, you're going to run the opposite rune glass to the harnessing. So you're going to be running rune glass that's either ignited or frozen. And the key weapon perks that you want on your armor somewhere is Pylon Burst, Empowering Meteor Shower, Empowering Fireball, and Deadly Frost. Finally, as far as your jewelry goes, again, no surprise here, we're going to be running the intelligence attribute, the Scholar prefix. You want to make sure that you definitely have health on your amulet. You want your ring to have fire damage and burning. And as far as the earring goes, I think regenerating is kind of like the required. But whatever else you think is going to help you with survivability. You can get thrust protection, that's amazing. And anything that would help you as far as your mana pots go would also probably be beneficial. You want to have at least 4 refreshing across your armor and your jewelry. And, I mean, look, if it's on the weapon, it's on the weapon. Okay? The most you can have is 4 stacks of refreshing. And if you can't get the 4 stacks of refreshing, the 4 stack, then you're going to need to reconsider your attributes and get focus to 25 for that ability cooldown, that extra 5%. Now let's talk quickly about pre-invasion prep. Going into any invasion, you want to make sure that you have your mana pots. You want to make sure that you have your health pots, just in case your healer is not available, which happens quite frequently for us mages. You want to make sure that you have your powerful corruption tincture. You're going to need at least 8 of these. Trust me. Okay? You're gonna want these. And then finally, your Infused Corrupted Ward. This provides protection, 10% for 40 minutes. Invasions are now 25 minutes long, so you are more than good with drinking just one of these. You also want to make sure that you have your fruit salad, which will increase your intelligence by 48 for 50 minutes. Again, invasions are 25 minutes long now, so you're more than covered for the length of the invasion with one fruit salad. You also should probably be bringing a powerful honing stone. There it is. Okay, powerful honing stone increases your weapon damage. You only need to use one honing stone. It covers both weapons. You need to make sure to bring your infused corrupted coating. Okay, you're gonna have to do each weapon separately. So you need to apply first to your fire staff, and then apply second coating to your ice gauntlet. This again gives maximal bonus, they say. Not sure what that is anymore. I think it's like 10% still. It lasts for 40 minutes, and again, you're good for the entirety of the invasion. You should not be unequipping either your fire staff or your ice gauntlet during the actual invasion. And I mean, if you're extra like me, then bring Desert Sunrise. Again, reduces the duration of damage over times, particularly from the bear and the commander. Commander has those flames that he leaves behind in his wake. If you cross over them, they will cause damage. That's what you want to make sure that you bring with you to the invasion. This way you can, code up, get stoned, you can chug, and you can go out fully buffed and maxed out, ready to kill them all. Alright, let's talk really quickly about what the job of a fire mage is in invasions. The job is really simple. You're gonna go out to the spawn point and you're going to kill the mobs. Your primary job as a mage is to kill the grunts, the spearmen, all of the mobs that spawn. When the elites spawn, that's not your primary focus. Your focus should be on the bombers. They are a priority for mages. You need to knock out the bombers before they wipe out your entire gate. You're going to want to make sure that you are ready to position yourself to get the drop on the spawn with your AoEs. I basically play extremely aggressive, and I play in the corruption. That's why I'm bringing the tinctures. So I usually play bonfire side, or if I'm in back, I play middle in between the spawns. You're going to want to drop one AoE on the spawn, and then drop the second AoE on the spawn. Usually I do Ice Storm first and then Meteor Shower. If you're in back, you're going to want to drop Ice Storm, preferably before the spawn actually spawns. Meteor Shower, same thing, and then you can turn back and hit the other spawn with a Fireball. This is why Fireball is absolutely versatile. It can be used many different ways. If you find out that you're getting mobbed, okay, or that your boy Pylon, you're gonna toss your boy Pylon out, hopefully before any of the spawns. Turn on that flamethrower, and you have that extra burn damage. That damage over time is going to help A, increase your damage, and B, reduce the number of mobs. When it comes to skulls, everybody's always like, oh, ranged decks can only hit skulls. That's not true, okay? As a fire mage, I have dropped meteor showers onto the skull, the base of the skull. I have thrown fireballs at the skull. I have hit the skull. I've caused damage to the skull. You can get damage on there. When it comes to brutes, again, heavy attacks are key. This is really why I take strength at 50, because I want that extra damage on the heavy attacks, because when a brute spawns, Yeah, I mean, my AoEs are handling the mobs and I'm tossing a fireball, but then guess what? I'm heavy attacking that brute. Because this is a team activity. You want to heavy attack the brute, you want to break their stam, you want to make them kneel. Just as Superman knelt before Zod. You want to be Zod. Let the brute think he's Superman and make him kneel. Okay? Really simple. Kneel before Zod! So that's my Fire Ice Mage build that I use primarily for invasions and, you know, with the associated invasion gameplay. Having the gear set is just the first step. You know, there's also about who you're playing with and your timing and whatnot, but with this set and the right timing in the right conditions, you'll easily drop 3 million, 4 million, even 5 or 6 million damage. Add in a pocket healer and some leadership buffs and maybe a little void gauntlet, and yeah, you could probably even hit the 7 or 8 million mark with this set. If that's what you're looking to do. Me personally, I just look to make sure that we win the invasions. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Really hope you found it entertaining and informative. If you liked it, appreciate those likes. Hit that subscribe button so that you get notified next time I have another. Remember, play hard, play fair, most importantly, play for fun. Be well.